Yuan is an all-rounder. She can sing, rap, dance, and bonus she can play the guitar. IZ*ONE has one of the best vocal lines. Blinkamies are the most toxic mix of fandoms. Things I don't like at the K-pop community. Being called out for liking K-pop by Westerners. Sure, it's a problem to do with them and their attitudes towards Korean music, but the fact that being called out for having a different taste in music was something I was afraid of upon joining the K-pop community, and as much as I have gotten used to it, it's still an annoying thing to have to deal with. Ice Cream by Blackpink wasn't actually that bad. I feel like apart from the lyrics it's not actually a really bad song. It's a cute summer song that I would probably mostly listen to in the summer. Also, the MV is so adorable and pretty hard with stars. I Can't Stop Me is better than More and More. People sexualizing and infantilizing their idols. This needs to stop. Yes, I get that all K-idols are stunning, devastating and also baby at the same time. But to only hold them for their worth if their actions are cute or they are really charismatic on stage isn't right. Especially if you're years younger than the idol. My friend deserves more recognition. They worked really hard and had 3 full comebacks this year. Irene is the most visually overrated female visual I have ever seen. Yes, I would assume overrated is used correctly in this way. Yes, she fits almost all Korea's beauty standards. However, when they all come together in one person it's almost underwhelming. She's very pretty but very plain at the same time. Her beauty is like the default. Like vanilla ice cream. You still eat it because it tastes good, but there are more unique and exciting flavors to choose from. And in the end, as an American fan, I am used to see variety and spice and beauty that Irene just falls flat in everything. And her public image right now isn't doing her any favors either. Amaroma is literally Fiesta 2.0. Both are a hard hit in my books, but the choruses are like sisters. I hear major similarities in the overall sound of the song. Tapping Dumdaram and G-Friend Mago Soti. I don't like Ryujin of ITZY. Blackpink has some of the best B-sides in pop. Lovesick Girls and Ice Cream are BP's worst title track. I'm not saying I won't bop to it a little when it comes on, but overall it was alright in comparison to what they could have done with all that time. Also, the album was pretty mediocre. The Cardi collab was highly unnecessary and most of the songs weren't very memorable at all. If you give them a few listens they're fine. A weirdly outdated sound, but fine. However, they could have done better with all the resources they had. This album was literally made for the biggest girl group on the planet. Come on now, YG. Having to stream and vote for your idols. Yes, this is a way of supporting your idols and giving back to them what they have done for you. But what matters to the idol isn't the win or the amount of views they have on a certain MV, but rather if their fans like it or not. Making it an obligation for PPL in a fandom to vote for their idols isn't necessarily the best way of showing support, because it can make those who genuinely can't vote or stream feel lesser than other fans, and that needs to stop. Having to like every song, making it an obligation for PPL and having to like every song your fans, and that needs to stop. Having to like every song your idols have produced. Just because a song is from your particular idol, it doesn't mean you have to like it, tying into the streaming point. If you don't like a particular song but others seem to like it, makes a fan seem and feel alienated from the fandom, which isn't a good thing. You are allowed to have your own taste in music, so don't let the fact that you stan that group be the reason as to forcing yourself to like or listen to a particular song. Jin deserves at least lead vocalist. He's got the best range and most appealing voice emo. To talk about every single member of the group. Isn't this a given? You're allowed to have your bias in a group. That's literally how you bond with other PPL in your fandom and make friends. The fact that some stans are getting bashed just because they don't talk about every member in the group is disgusting to me. If you don't vibe with a certain member, fair enough. It's just if you start hating on them when it's not okay. cultural appropriation and defending it. Yes, some pop videos can be disrespectful to cultures, but almost always the companies will try to do something about this and apologize. This however doesn't mean it's right to start bashing the culture they offended, because that just isn't right. There are people in that fandom who are part of the culture who the group offended, and they'd be upset to see something they stand by be insulted. Need I say more? Most of the people starting the fanwars are probably 11-year-olds who have nothing better to do with their lives than to make jabs at other groups who are taking the fame away from their idols. The fact that in early pop there was little to none of these fanwars really demonstrates how toxic the internet has become, and that those people stirring up drama just need to realize that all the idols can share the same stage, and most of the idols they hate on are actually friends of their idol. Fans not letting idols date. Man, this one is just stupid, but the fact that some fans hate the fact that their idol will go on to dating and then marrying someone that isn't them is just stupid. Take Chen as an example. It's an unrealistic expectation that you're going to end up dating an idol and they are most likely a significant amount of years older than you. Is delusional to think that they are going to date you specifically out of a world of 7 billion people. Don't mean their music or fame is overrated, but how the toxics always shit on other groups to make their faves seem best, and how toxics treat their faves as if they're the best group or person people in the world. It really annoys me. I mentioned last resort that I'm an army or a blink because some people think that even if you're a snazzy person, because you're in the fandom you're instantly toxic, which sucks. In my opinion, I don't think any group is overrated because they all worked hard to get to where they are today, whether they have the same levels of success as BTS or are just new and starting out. One is a better title track than Monster EXO. More at the EXO songs. Both are really good and I loved the concept for that comeback, but I just think Lucky One showed more of their versatility as artists, as Monster seemed more EXO-esque, like something they'd put out, whereas Lucky One seemed like they were trying more new things. Punch by NCT 127 was a bit of a letdown. Yes, it was original. Yes, it was very suited to 127's concept, but the song itself was only really memorable for Taeyong whisper rapping. I get that they wanted to do something related to fighting for their album repackage, but after Kick It, Punch was underwhelming. Bumper is bland in the sense that the other two comebacks Reeve did last year were much more experimental. I do have to say with this one I contradict myself. BCRV never failed to disappoint, but I just think in 2019, the other two comebacks overshadowed that one. Time distributions for songs which are considered unfair are actually good. It really depends on the type of song that's being sung. Take for example God's Menu by SKZ, where Minho only gets the do parts. Yes, we would have loved to see him have more lines in the song, since it was the title track of the album, but can you imagine him singing any of the other parts? Also, it's not unfair because he gets more lines in other songs of the album, parts which are much more suited to his voice. It is a concept album after all, and therefore isn't unfair.